Hello, my Facebook and YouTube family out there. How are you doing today? It's a nice Sunday, and I know many of you are looking at the game right now, but hey, it's time for me to do my little vlog. So that's what I'm doing. And today I have a lot to talk about. Last week I did an interesting one on 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞, which there is an update on that, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow. So if you're interested in the follow-up on that, the 𝐥𝐤𝐤 and cardiB event, we'll talk about that tomorrow. But anyway, tonight I'm gonna talk about a young woman that we don't know if she's been murdered, but she's been found dead, and it's going on in Connecticut, and it's a big thing. And speaking about 𝐥𝐤𝐤 and cardiB have something to do with this case, and we'll talk about that later on too. But there's this case in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and Bridgeport, Connecticut is not they are not foreign to corruption. They have been known to do a lot of things. Like, for example, I think last year, the New York Times had reported that the police chief cheated to get his job, and he was indicted for that. Him and a couple of more officers, and it was something going on with the mayor there too that he had to do time for. So this police department is corrupt, and I guess I shouldn't say currently corrupt. They have been found to be corrupt. So I could say that because I don't want to get sued either. And anyway, I forget to tell you this all the time. If you want to comment on what I'm saying, go to YouTube and place a comment, and I'll read your comments out loud. And even if you're looking at this while I'm not live, you can still comment, but you have to do it on YouTube. And I come back and I look at those comments. So you want to chat with CC, just come and comment. But anyway, we're going to talk about this case in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Now, on December 23rd, this young woman named laurensmithfields' body was found in her home by a man that she met on a dating site, Bumble. Now, what's strange about this is, okay, she wasn't found dead. I should say that. The date that she had on Bumble called the police and said that he didn't know what was wrong with her, but they was laying in the bed together. He woke up 6 o'clock in the morning and she was over there not breathing, blood coming from her nose, and she had blood on the sheets. I don't think he described anything else. But the thing about it, he called 911. Now, this young lady was 23 years old, very attractive young lady. Let me put up some pictures of her. Looked like she was very well kept. Now, he says the reason he was over there because he only met her about 2 days earlier. I'm gonna put up her picture to let you see how she voice. keep her voice alive in this case, and I'll tell you why. First of all, he said he met her on Bumble only 2 days before. He said that she invited him over because she needed $40 to get her hair done. Now, look at this girl. I don't think she needs $40 to get her nails done, but okay, either way. So he comes over that night, and this is what he tells his story is. He comes over that night, they looking at TV and everything and drinking, having some tequila or whatever, and doing some drugs. So she gets a knock on the door. She went outside to meet her brother. He said he thought it was strange. She goes out there for about 10 or 15 minutes, come back in. She went straight to the bathroom for another 10 or 15 minutes. He didn't know what was going on, but he didn't feel like this was his place to ask. So he says, okay. So then they go to bed, and he remembered her getting up to go use the bathroom, and she stayed a long time. He thought that was weird, and he said that she wasn't feeling good. Okay, so the next morning, 6 a.m., he wakes up. She wasn't breathing, blood coming out her nose, blood on the bed sheets, and he calls 911. Now, the thing about it, he calls 911, and the police come, Bridgeport, Connecticut police come. And normally, when you have a overdose or any kind of crime scene, and you have the boyfriend there, or this ain't even a boyfriend, this is an acquaintance of a dating site. Lord knows who he is. Nobody don't know who he is. Okay, we do know who he is, and I'm gonna give you his name later on and show you his picture. But at this point, the police don't know who he is. They just know he's a white guy, and Lauren is a black woman, as you see. Okay, so they get there, talk to him. He tells them the same story I told you, and they tell him, okay, we'll take care of it. Bye. See you later. Say la vie. Okay. Then they leave. They put a note on the door saying, okay, first of all, they took her passport. The police took her passport, her wallet, I think credit cards, and some money that she had in her apartment. Okay, then they left, put a note on her door, and put a note on the door. Anybody who knows laurensmithfields, contact the police department, or contact this number or whatever. And I don't even know if they put the note on the door or did the landlord put the note on the door, but that's the way it went down. Okay, so about a week and a half to 2 weeks go by. Nobody have checked. Nobody have said nothing. The police didn't call the family. Now, remember, the police have the passport and know who she is because of her identification. The police didn't notify the family or nothing. After not hearing from her, the mother comes up there to her apartment to check on her. And that's when she sees the note. Anybody knows this person or whatever, call this number. She calls that number, and I guess it's the landlord number. So I guess the police didn't leave the note on the door. So she calls the number. The landlord tells her that your daughter died 2 weeks ago and told her the circumstances. What kind of stuff is that? I mean, really. Imagine this is your child, and you go show up at their apartment because you haven't heard from them, and there's a note on the door talking about, if you know this person, call. I mean, the police didn't say that. Nobody have contacted you. Just say call. And then when you call, you find out that your child is dead. That's horrific, And the reason I said we're going to chat about it and chat about is this, a lot of people say, every time you look around, y'all want to play the race card, it's racism and everything. Okay, my question is, because we know we're dealing with a shady police department Bridgeport, Connecticut. Well, have been shady in the past. You know, I'm not calling them shady now, but something is shady with them now. My personal opinion. Okay, so you say you can't put race in it. Well, what can you put in? We know we got corruption somewhere in there, but I think my personal opinion is more racism tied up in this than corruption somewhere. Now, I don't know who this young guy is, and so far, this guy is not the police chief's son. He's not related to the police chief. Let's see what his name is. He's not related to the police chief. He's not nobody's cousin. Nothing like that. But why did he get a pass? And who ever heard of you finding somebody's dead and you admitting that y'all just met on a dating site 2 days ago? So you don't know who this guy is or where he come from or what's his history. And you just say, okay, thanks for giving us your report, and just walk out the door. I mean, have you ever heard that before? I mean, please comment on this, you know, if you have, because I never heard of this before. And also, like and share this video too. I mean, that helps me out on my ratings. But we have a comment coming on. He should have been the first suspect. Exactly. And, you know, when we talk about, is it racism or corruption? Let's compare this to Gabby Petito. And this is why you can't say all lives matter, because what we're seeing and what I'm seeing as a person of color is that the people that's getting blown by, or, you know, things being done and it's just thrown out the window, is people of color. So, you know, Gabby Petito their parents reported her missing. Now, remember, in that case, it wasn't even a body. Her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie, Brian Laundrie came back home, and he's home going around, you know, about his business. And the parents just said, well, where's my daughter? She was with you. Okay. Now, you all know what Gabby Petito looked like, a young Caucasian girl, blonde hair, you know, pretty, decent, you know. Let's face it, when a white woman go missing and she got, you know, I want to say blue eyes and blonde hair, but really she don't even have to have that, you know, just being a white woman. Okay, it's all hell break loose, you know. I have a comment. Yeah, they had a national investigation, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Her parents, it wasn't even a body. It wasn't even a body nowhere in the picture. And it was on national news. They had police helicopters looking for her. They had ran down the boyfriend. The boyfriend had to go run away to get away from the police because they were sure on his tail. They pretty much had named him, even though they didn't literally name him as the killer. They pretty much had named him as the killer. So, you know, they didn't even have a body at that time, you know, but they was on him like, I don't want to use the expression, so I'm just going to say they were just fiercely on him. And, you know, the whole nation was looking for this girl. They had so many sightings of, you know, where they seen her or where his body could have been until they found her. They definitely found her. I think they found her in a matter, I know within that month they had found her. And even when the boyfriend disappeared, they tracked him down. I mean, I don't know if they had dogs on him, but they tracked him down. Everybody was spotting the van. Here we go, here we go, here, all over the nation. Had social media and everything. And, you know, people want to say, oh, well, she was a social media star. It doesn't make any difference. She was a person, you know. And this girl was on social media. So it doesn't make a difference if she was social media. But this is a black girl. And really, it's just now coming. It still is not really made national news. But, you know, we're speaking of cardiB. Friday, cardiB tweeted this tweet. And she said, let me see, what did she say? She said something to the effect that, the Bridgeport, Connecticut should be ashamed of themselves, and they crooked. They very shady because they haven't said anything or gave the parents anything to go on their child's death. In fact, when the mother was asking questions about her own daughter's death, the police chief told her, don't call back there no more. Imagine that. Don't call back there no more. That's what they told her. It was so bad that, okay, let me back up. You remember when I told you the mother went and called the number that was on the paper that went to the landlord to say, where's her daughter? After she found out her daughter was dead, the police just told her it was a nice man in there, gave them a report. Her daughter died from acute overdose of drugs. Now, number one, you may say that, okay, all parents say their kids didn't use drugs. Parents don't know everything about their kids. Okay, you could say that. The medical examiner had put on her death certificate, acute overdose of drugs. Number one, no autopsy was done. Number two, no drug was found. How you gonna say overdose of drugs and you don't even have a drug to say what drug was found? But you put drugs on her death certificates, and I'll tell you that too. They did list drugs, but no drugs was found. No drugs was given to the medical examiner. Okay. After they couldn't get any answers from the police, they went back to her apartment. This is really sad, y'all. They went back to her apartment, and like I said, with a blood-stained bed, things was kind of turned over. Well, while cleaning out the room, they found a condom with semen in it. Now, you would think that, okay, at this time, the mother didn't know what kind of investigation that the police had done, because the police had been in the apartment. They took her body away. They assumed that, the police went in there. You know how they do crime scene and go check everything. A condom with semen was found in the garbage can. So that wouldn't be left. Ain't you supposed to take that evidence to a hospital to see who it is? Well, I guess they had the man who it was, but still, I mean, did you even check her body to see was rape there? Nothing. Okay, so the family not knowing, they going in there and cleaning up the apartment because out of respect for their daughter, you don't want just blood spots everywhere. And you assume that the cops did their job. Come to find out, the cops never took any fingerprints. They didn't investigate. They didn't check the daughter's body. They didn't check for any kind of rape. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. So at this point now, this is about 3 weeks into this lady's murder or death. How do you go back and check a scene after the family then went and cleaned up the place? I mean, how do you do that? So, I mean, see, this is so shady on so many levels. And I'm gonna show you the man and tell you a little bit about the man. Now, this is who the police didn't know this guy from Who Shot Adam. That's an expression, but the police didn't know this guy from Who Shot Adam. But yeah, he described him as the nice man who gave his account of what happened. And remember, this lady is 23 years old. This man is about 35. Much older. I mean, okay, but they both grown, so nothing is really wrong with that. But I'm just saying, She got him off of Bumble. Who knows? Ago. That's her and that's him. Now you see this girl look well kept. She don't look like she really need no money to get her nails done. And in fact, her nails was done. Her nails was done when they found her. When her mother went to go look at her and ID the body, her nails was done. So I don't see why she needed $40 more to get her nails done. This is the guy right here. His name is Matthew Lafontaine. Let's see what we know about him. Let's see real quick. I read about him, but let's see what we know. Okay. He is not the main focus of the investigation. I don't know why. He never was. Really don't know why. Okay. The police just started investigating, but the medical examiner already ruled it as accidental. Now, how did he rule it accidental if the police never did an investigation? I don't know. Like you see, this Twitter following said that he was the last one to see her alive. So why shouldn't he be investigated? I don't know. Let's see the third thing about him. Okay. He said that he woke up and found her not breathing. Oh, you know what? Okay. Another thing. I agree with this Twitter follower. When he said that she went up to the bathroom in the middle of the night and came back and said she didn't feel well, why he didn't call the ER, or why he didn't say go to the doctor? Why would you still lay down and sleep with somebody that you don't even know? And why didn't she kick your behind out? If she ain't feeling well, I know she ain't well enough for sex and all that stuff. So why she didn't go to the doctor or he called the ER? Okay, we already know the investigation was botched. So okay, I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna play some of it, but I'm not gonna, just so you can see some of the characters that we're showing. So let's try it again. Okay.
The white man whom she met on the dating app Bumble reported her dead during their date. Now, he is not facing any charges, so CBS News is not releasing his name. Yesterday, though, would have been Smithfield's 24th birthday. Family, friends, and supporters marched in Bridgeport to celebrate her life, demand answers and justice. Smithfield's family called detectives' handling of the case racially insensitive, alleged that the college student's civil rights were violated. Lisa Preston spoke with the family, which is calling for an outside agency to now handle this investigation. Lisa, good morning. This is a very troubling story.
Very heartbreaking, Gail. Good morning. Laurensmithfields should be celebrating her 24th birthday this week. Instead, her family is fighting for answers as to how the seemingly healthy young woman reportedly died in her bed. Family photos and memories are what Laurensmithfields' family is holding on to as they wrestle with her unexpected death.
The pain is so unbearable.
Chantel Field says she drove to her daughter's apartment last month after not hearing from her.
When I got there was a note on the door saying, if you're looking for Lauren, call this number.
The family says a detective told them Smithfields had been declared dead about a day and a half earlier, and no one reached out to tell them.
He said that she met some guy on Bumble that night. And I'm like, who's this guy? What's going on? He's like, oh, he sounds like a nice guy. Don't worry about it.
According to an incident report, the date told police the two allegedly spent the night drinking, eating, and watching a movie. At one point, he said Smithfields went outside to meet someone. Later, she fell ill, but the two continued drinking. Smithfields fell asleep, and the date carried her to bed, where he went to sleep next to her. Hours later, around 6:30 in the morning, he says he woke up to Smithfields not breathing, her nose bleeding. He called 911. The family says a detective also told them to stop calling him for information. They were told he's since been removed from the case.
Where all do you think the police department misstepped in handling Lauren's death?
When you find a young lady dead and there's a male involved, is immediately a person of interest, and they should immediately collect that person's DNA.
The incident report shows police collected money in Smithfields' passport, credit card, and phone, but the family's attorney, Darnell Crossland, stresses
I'm gonna stop it right there. But I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? I mean, where have you ever heard, first of all, a police department, how would you like your wife, your child, or whatever? I mean, this way it goes to say Black lives don't matter. A police department collect a dead body with this, especially, okay, a white man that's older than her that she don't even know is in the apartment. He tells this story that really the story have loopholes because, like I said, if she wasn't feeling good, why did he carry her to bed? I mean, or why did he call the emergency room? And if she was coherent, why didn't she just kick him out? We're gonna have sex. I mean, really, if you ain't feeling good, are you still gonna have sex, especially with some guy you met 2 days ago? I mean, that don't even sound right. That don't even sound right. This guy needs to be questioned. And so he leaves and he's scot-free. Like I say, they didn't say his name, but I told you his name. It's on the internet, so it's not like I'm just putting it out there. And I'm not saying he did it, but you could come to your own conclusion about who should be the first suspect. And you said he paid somebody off. I think it's just because they don't think Black Lives Matter. Like I say, I hate to bring up Gabby Petito, and it's not even her. It's other women that white women that have gone missing. What about the mother on Mother's Day that went missing on the ranch or something? And it was the fiance who killed her. Right away they look at the men. When it go missing, they look at the last man who seen her, the last man she was with. They didn't care. They didn't care. So you could say corruption. Yeah, I mean, this police precinct is, they have had corruption in the past, but also to them, this Black life didn't matter. It didn't matter. I mean, just total disregard for life. And you may say, this is this lady's, but one day it's going to be your child. It's going to be your wife. It's going to be your mother. This has to stop. It has to stop. And so we need to keep her name out there. We need to stay on this story. And I'm going to be staying on this story because, I mean, it's just now getting notoriety because cardiB was woke enough to put it out there. And, she has a big following. So she used her following for that. So that was good. And, well, to a lot of other people too, sound like that. But, TMZ has been talking about it. And, 𝐥𝐤𝐤 has just, put it out there. So hopefully a lot more people would investigate because right now, this guy, his name is Matthew Lafontaine, is not under anybody's custody. He's walking around like a free bird. He's a design engineer. Let me see if I can find what company he's working for. But and I'm not saying he did it. So like I say, I don't want nobody knocking on my door to say he did it. But I mean, hey, the facts is the facts. He was the last person that seen her. And he works at it says a Connecticut-based company. It doesn't say where but he's a design engineer. So, he's smart enough to mix some stuff up. They were smart enough to get Bill Cosby, wasn't they? I mean, I meant to tell you, when the brother came to the door, and when she went outside, the brother said she didn't appear drunk. She didn't let him in because I guess she had company. But he said she didn't appear like anything was going on, but he didn't know the guy was inside. So she was normal at that time. It's a lot of shadiness going on here. And I just think if we put enough pressure on their necks, Which, why do we have to put pressure on their necks? We're going to keep saying her name, and we're going to stay on top of this story until we get some results. That's what we have to do. We need justice for Laura. But we need justice for Lauren. And so everybody just keep following this story. And, I don't know if we're going to start doing protesting here in this city, but we need to do something, because something needs to be done. They called it racial insensitivity. I guess you could make up, people are making up so many names. I guess you could call it that if you want to, but it's a plain disregard for a person of color's life, and that's just it. That's just it. And not only Black people, they got Native American, I read the story too, that Native American women, a lot of them go missing each year. I don't know why. Maybe because people know that their lives don't mean nothing either, and if they go missing, who's gonna care? And that's what they think about us. Who's gonna care? But this girl, everybody should care. But this girl, like I say, she was a well-kept girl. I don't know what she was into. Nobody don't know what she was into, but she didn't deserve to die with no investigation. We all know that. So hopefully, we'll get to the bottom of that. But anyway, thank you for coming to chat with 𝐸𝐸 today. And like I say, I will keep you abreast on what's happening, because I feel like it's an important story. Like I said, one day it may be me. I have Black children out here. It could be them. And so, like the saying goes, I don't know how you put it, but I'm going to put it like this. It's just this one place. It's just as, I don't even know. I shouldn't say it because my mind can't think. But all I know is that it may not affect you now, but it will affect you later, one way or another. So we got about what happened with Tasha K. Okay, that's a story for tomorrow night. Check me out around 8:00 tomorrow night, and we'll talk about the Tasha K story, follow up about the punitive damages and all what she got to pay cardiB, and how she came on with this big story. But I'm not going to get into that, because right now we're talking about Laurensmithfields, and that's what I want to focus on. So good night, everybody. Enjoy your week. I hope you come back with me tomorrow. If you see this video, like I say, on YouTube, you can comment on it, and we'll talk about it. Everybody has an opinion. I'm free to listen to everybody's opinion. That's what Chat with 𝐸𝐸 is about. So, you want to say something? Say it. In the meantime, have a good week, and thanks for chatting with 𝐸𝐸.